TNC here in this best of 3 to kick it all off here. I'm Breaky CPK, and I'm going to be joined by Tsunami as my co-caster. How's it going, man?
It's good. Fresh new year, fresh new teams. Chaos is a very recent pickup, like you said, but they have a storied legacy. I mean, it's Pain. Everyone who remembered the Pain lineup, this is the same thing. HFN, Weeha, Tavo, King RD, and Misery. And this is their first exposure in quite a while to actually showing up in a tournament. So I don't think that they've actually been playing too much in terms of third-party tournaments or any qualifiers or anything like that, because the major qualifiers happened, and then anyone who didn't make it to that had to deal with the minor qualifiers. And so there's been like a kind of period of downtime for these teams, TNC included as well, because once you qualify for the major, you can kind of sit back, and it's I'm looking forward to seeing what these teams are capable of, especially since these are two teams that I can't imagine play each other very frequently. It's a Southeast Asia representative and a South American representative. These are teams that do not get the kind of international exposure that EU teams do, for example, with so many like random online tournaments and stuff like that.
100% agree, and that's what just helps make these major tournaments that much more exciting, where again we're bringing 16 teams from the world, including at least 2 from each region. Obviously in South America you have Chaos and also Thunder Predator making their debut here at a big event, so one of the many reasons why we should be excited to watch that tournament. But yeah, TNC, real quickly before we get to the draft, not to bring back up drama once again, but it is worth pointing out they are of course using a stand-in in place of Cuckoo, unable to make it, as well he was banned from the event. There's information out there if you want to look into it a little bit more.
Oh, is that what this tournament is?
Things happened.
I remember that drama.
Yeah, it feels so long ago, it really does, but I mean, it kind of was, to be fair, as far as the qualifiers go. But yeah, Ryor, one of those. Ryor. Yeah. We'll go with that. He's a stand-in for Cuckoo. So take that how you will. Obviously, he has that time to prep with the team for a bit now, but again, it is a stand-in technically that they are using here.
Yeah, but one that I don't think that they're particularly concerned about. Like I think he's the official sub for the team, at least I believe so, or at least he's had experience on TNC. He's Filipino, just like the rest of TNC, and so I can't imagine that it's too far stepping outside the comfort zone. But TNC were definitely quite adamant in bringing Cuckoo for their own justifications, and so I'm sure it is a bit of a shame that they don't get to play with him. But at the same time, this is a lateral move in terms of comfortability with changing players, I'm sure.
It ain't
He's been favoring it has definitely been more as support roles. So see having a strong lack of wave clear, I think that's going to be something that they come back to haunt them as this game goes on to like 15 minutes and this Tavo Nature's Prophet starts moving around the map, which it is going to be a Tavo Nature Prophet, not an HFN or Misery Nature Prophet.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that's a couple of things there. HFN playing the Shadow Fiend, usually they're position 1 player, but I gotta think this is a comfort thing. We, of course, plays micro heroes in general, specifically Visage too. I assume he'll still end up in the safe lane, and then they'll have Shadow Fiend, or maybe not with the matchup now. I suppose they could change it up right here if they feel it would be better, but point is, I'm not stuck to that just because.
Prepare for battle.
When what? HFN, he is heading towards the mid lane for now, looks like, so yeah. Will be the safe lane. But on the other side, by the way, Earth Spirit in the hands of Ryur, who's labeled as their offlane player, of course, replacing Cuckoo for this event. Offlane Earth Spirit?
I guess. I don't. Yeah, because the Phoenix is played by Tim's, who is their 4 position, and I mean, a lot of people have been very intimidated recently. I know Capitalist made a tweet comparing Earth Spirit's strength gain per level and Centaur's strength gain per level. Earth Spirit gets 3.8 strength per level, and Centaur Warrunner, who is considered the beefiest hero in the game, I believe is either 4.0 or 4.2. But they are very close in terms of how tanky they can get, and Earth Spirit, anytime that he starts seeing some exposure, is always on the chopping block for nerfs, and a lot of people initially were like, oh, Rolling Boulder's a stun now? What a nerf, because you can't multi-hero stun like you could with Boulder Smash. But you also have a 4-second stun cooldown, so Earth Spirit players have to be some of the most abused players in the entire game, but they persevere.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up with you, so I'm glad you did with the whole Rolling Boulder. 4-second cooldown on what essentially is a 1-second stun, but every 4 seconds you could just, that's insane when you really think about it. And at the later levels, you will see that your spirits constantly rolling around and taking advantage of course that ability. So, you know, perhaps playing the offlane obviously gets in that level that much quicker. It's going to see what kind of farm he uses. Maybe something like an earlier Blink Dagger perhaps to help with that positioning and getting in there, taking advantage of the leveled up Rolling Boulder. But some uniqueness coming out here from TNC, and frankly, I expect this here at this event. Again, this is the first major, of course, since 7.20, where a lot did change, it's safe to say, when it came to the strategy.
Yeah, and people have been, I think, playing auto chess in the meanwhile, maybe because they don't want to show anything, because I've been equally curious, waiting for the first mission to see what emerges, and whatever we were seeing during online tournaments like Greaves Shadow Fiend is just the tip of the iceberg, I think.
Middle lane, the courier snipe. Tim's is not patient enough, or is he? He's gonna maybe wait for it to return right here. He definitely knows it's coming. In fact, it's going way up there. Shadow Fiend playing aggressive, so now Tim's gonna try to snipe it on the way back. No, never mind. Yeah. Oh, Icarus dive. He's got it. There you go. Takes it out. So good patience there.
Surprised if HFN just let it go like that, because definitely got vision of the Phoenix on multiple occasions, but it goes out and Phoenix immediately heads to the bot lane, which Ryur didn't really need the help. Ryur's doing just fine right now. He's at level 2 and solo against the Visage and the support Tiny.
Yeah, when it comes to Visage, it goes without saying, of course, I'd say strong. I mean, he's an okay laner, but of course those familiars is what really accelerates him. So until level 6, you can play perhaps a bit more aggressive, but you also have to expect that Grave Chill and eventually Soul Assumption level 1 too, even the nuke that it could do with a hero like
Blink away with familiar damage and have those great people stacks just stay up infinitely, because that's the way that a lot of Visages are being played. They are just auras for familiars, and they just let the familiars do everything while they sit back and make sure that they can do all the damage to tank everything over.
Mid lane matchup right now, 10-5 Shadow Fiend, make it 11, make it 12-5 even as I'm talking about it, 9-1 Templar Assassin. So HFN, even an Arcane Rune currently used right here, so he's able to get that 2-minute Arcane Rune, making the most out of it as he spams those raises. So all 3 CS favoring Chaos right now when it comes to their cores, at least in the laning phase. We at the bottom lane, Grave Chill, he'll just run away as Ryur did go in with that Rolling Boulder. Tim's return though, Icarus dive, he's gonna be fine, and now Ryur's in the face of Visage. Boulder up in 2 seconds, he's doing some good damage, throws out the Boulder Smash and the roll for the first blood. What a way to start things off with the first spear right here.
I think still got Sal available, and it's going to be looking for yeah, Visage, another hero that also has very little armor. It's all in the Gravekeeper's Cloak, otherwise he has no natural armor. At least Wukong does manage to complete though, so he's going to be a little bit more tanky, I think, his way to the Vlads.
Top lane, Terrorblade, 14-1, so he is picking it up quite a bit. But Nature's Prophet, it goes without, especially with an Oracle teammate. I can't say I'm too surprised that Nature's Prophet is having a good time. In fact, they're going for a kill on Gabby. No, that was almost it. Injabuggy throws up the shallow for the last second to make sure to keep him alive. Bottom lane, meanwhile, they will lose their Earth Spirit, making it a 1-to-1 game now as Chaos ties things up. But yeah, with that top lane pressure on top of that bottom lane kill, this laning phase is looking fantastic right now for the Radiant squad.
Yeah, Terrible, like I said, cannot deal with trance, and it doesn't, I mean, obviously, like, it doesn't matter because you are never going to be in danger of trance. Now Armel duking it out with HFN for the spoon.
No. It's like, I'll take a little bit of bait right there, but yeah, easy kill on him. Good job with the rotation. And bottom lane, well, they get the kill on a Tiny to go for the turn, the Soul Assumption. Not enough damage though onto Earth Spirit. So, you know, this is what I expected. I was looking at the series and everything. We noticed that this is the one we're trying to cast first. I expected action, and we're getting it early on here, and I don't think it's going to slow down by any means.
No, especially the way that Chaos drafted. They can't afford to slow down. And goes late, the Terrorblade will be too difficult for them to deal with, and the TA is going to be doing a good job in making sure it doesn't even get to that point to begin with, because her mid-game is going to be very, very strong, assuming that she's able to keep this pace against Shadowfiend. Shadowfiend, despite that death, still doing fairly well in CS, and I'm definitely looking forward to how HFN is going to build this, because I can't imagine he can go for other than the build.
Yeah.
Anything too slow, given their draft.
Yeah, I feel like you're committed to that. And actually, on that point, I was going to ask you about it too. The Nature's Prophet, do you think he's going to be picking up a Vlad's? Because again, if you're going to be grouping up, that's like the strong item right now, right?
At most, then maybe I think Behan can build the Vlad because he already has the headdress, and so you let Medallion built by Tavo because Visage needs one of them. And I guess if Weehaw needs the headdress region in the lane, then go ahead and let the Prophet build the Medallion instead. Prophet can always rotate wherever familiars are with teleportation and go get a gank that way. But either way, those are the three core items, I think. Greaves may be like a little too long, at least they'll get like the mech and maybe start doing something, but mech, Vlad's, Medallion, and then I think you're ready to start grouping up as Chaos.
Nice, keeping an eye on their progress as far as TNC is concerned. Again, Terrorblade, he's just worrying about getting any kind of CS he can, and gonna try to put some pressure on a Tavo, but Tavo's already got power treads. I mean, he's bulky, he's just fine. He just simply walks away, sprouts up defensively, and he'll be out of there as Oracle's rotated to the middle lane meanwhile, setting up a kill attempt onto Armel. It's gonna be a tough one, but a couple of raises in synergy. It's okay, they get the refraction pop, so gotta get that off. Here comes the Fortune's End. And Purifying Flips. Tavo comes in with the TP as well with the Sprout and the Tree Block, but too many supports TPing in from the other side and not worth the chase there in the end. So the rotation unsuccessful.
Yeah, and as a result, Gabby gets a little bit of tier 1 damage up top, and the glyph has popped out. I'm actually surprised that Mizra didn't go for the courier. The courier shield was guaranteed down. We saw Shadowfiend deal with it when he died, and he hit a double damage on the Oracle, but they thought that they could penetrate through Fraction, didn't end up working out, and TNC responded well enough, so at the minimum, a lot of TNC support TPs are going to be down after that gank attempt.
Yeah. Earth Spirit. When it comes to CS, Earth Spirit not the most fantastic. 19-1, down there on the charts, but he's level 4, almost level 5, about to hit it here. He's got double bracer build early on. And it looks like the Hood Defiance going to be his pick up, perhaps a pipe he's going to be looking to pick up sooner than later in this game. Do you think that's going to be a valuable one if he chooses to go for that?
There's not much magic damage to be concerned about. I mean, it's a nice aura, but it's a little bit surprising that he's even considering that, because, wait, it's primarily physical damage, as we see physical damage is completely obliterating this top tier 1 tower.
Look at bottom lane. Yeah, once again, he's trouble though. Three heroes even coming together, and an easy kill on him. Gravejill's not going to save Tiny, doing what he can, but it is not enough. So the rotating Dazzle gets in there. But as you were talking about, the top tower goes down to all of that right click, specifically behind the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, and Terrorblade, like I said, not a hero equipped to be able to draw aggro off of towers. He's just gonna have to retreat in the jungle, which isn't really the worst case scenario. Around level 6, this is around when you see Terrorblades transition in the jungle, no matter how good of a laning phase they had, just because it's easier to free up the lane for someone else, and few heroes farm as well as TB, as HFN now. Kind of getting some focus, but it looks like Ninja Boogie is going to be the real difficulty.
Nice block right there with the Sprout. Easy kill as a result. Yeah, Nature's Prophet, good rotation, but you look at the build of Shadow Fiend, actually, there you go. Power Treads finish, so we're not going to see that Guardian Greaves build. You know, again, I've just been seeing so much of it recently, I just assumed that was the case, but yeah, he had different plans at least.
What's the plan? What, like, I hope it's not the Yule's build. The Yule's build would be my least favorite of the options. A lot of people like the various new Kaya combos on SF, but I don't really think he can go combat oriented. He's too squishy, and he's not going to be able to like go head on into a fight whenever he has to deal with like Dazzle slowing him down and Phoenix slowing him down and Trap slowing him down and stuff like that. You can, I guess, go for an early BKB, but I'm not a fan of that either. I don't know. It's surprising to me. Because even the purge, like you see Oracle just now purging the SF with Fortune's End. There's so many things, like so many slows, like I said, that would be so useful to dispel if you had Greaves, but he's gonna stick with this while the rest of his team pushes. Weeha and Tavo head up to the top lane and just chunk it down.
Maybe they just can get away with this in the sense that they don't need it because this is somewhat of a greedier draft from TNC, and yeah, Tim's is doing everything he can to survive right here as the Icarus dives away after the toss in, but now he wants to fight because a roll in from right here. He actually gets a nice magnetize off. They will lose Tiny in the back lines, and the chase continues. Weeha, throwing familiar to the north, but they want the real hero. They want Visage, and Visage is going to be killed off as well. The ultimately ends up being a great response for TNC as a 10-minute bounty rune spawn as well, and again, kind of goes back to this. It's, you know, they're pushing a tier 2 tower right there, which is understandable. You have a Helmet Dominator and everything, but maybe being a bit too ambitious this early on in the game when you don't have all the R items yet. I don't even think he had Vlad's. I think he got it right after fight happened.
Yeah, I don't think they did. And just a Dominator is not sufficient to be able to go for that. But I guess it was a pretty heavy rotation from TNC, and the tier 2 tower top still takes a ton of damage. It's definitely very easy for Nature's Prophet to make its way over there at some point and finish it off. So they're getting structural damage. Maybe that's like the goal, is just scorched earth tactics. Just go in, get as much damage as possible, distract the enemy team, and maybe let SF become your hard carry. Maybe they're having him as an insurance plan in case the game goes late. They have something to do with Terrorblade, something to deal with Terrorblade, but
that sounds so dangerous though.
Exactly, yeah.
When you're going up against a Terrorblade and a TA for that matter, it's not like Shadow Fiend's going to be this scaling core against
and now Shadow Fiend is building the neck, so he has the buckler and he has the headdress. So
interesting. Okay.
Treads into mech, but you won't have the Greaves. Yeah. But the rest of his team is converging on mid.
Well, could get a boot for each foot, I suppose, so could eventually do it if he wants to. Middle lane. Beat even, yeah. Phoenix, he throws up the ultimate there, but Chaos just simply walks away. Not enough lockdown. Keep them in place, and that is one thing that stands out on the side of TNC, or the lack thereof. When it comes to crowd control, they're frankly horrible at it. We mentioned Earth Spirit with the rolling is nice, but outside of that, they really don't have anything. So that is going to be an issue as this game progresses.
Yeah, it's always so stressful as a Phoenix to have to use those early supernovas into an enemy team, because really everyone just needs to turn at you and attack once, and then your egg is basically dead at level 6. So you can do it and be like, guys, go away, I'm using my supernova, but it's more of a bluff because you can't really get too close to them. And they take off every single, they take off the tier 1 mid, tier 1 top, immediately head into Roche. So Chaos has a plan. I can't imagine that things are going that far off, so I guess this is just the plan. Let Shadow Fiend get some damage at him so you can have someone to right-click, but Rior wants to challenge it.
He wants to. They didn't have a medallion in either, so it's taking a little longer than maybe expected. Anyway, Supernova not going to happen because it's still on cooldown. Requiem did go off, though. Rior's still in the middle of it, however. Magnetized will spread out. False promise to use on himself by Misery, so he will not be able to save a teammate now. He does fully heal, and it wears off. Nobody ends up dying because of how the fight played out right here, and we're not even done just yet though. Gabby's in the middle of the Roche pit. What is he doing right here? He has Sunder. He's in a bad spot though. He's got Shallow Grave to kind of back him up, so he's chasing after somebody. Armel got him mellowed up. They do not have vision currently. They're just gonna have to run away, so Armel will be fine. The team support, I can't believe this fight's been going on for nearly a minute, it feels like, and still no hero kills on either side. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but there are two traps in the pit now, and so they're going back in, but they are not going to be able to easily get back out. Tim's is going to have Sunray in 3 seconds, and Rior's coming back in, though he's kind of low on mana.
Supernova in 5 seconds. Can they hold off long enough? The Sunray going to be canceled pretty quickly. We are using the Familiar to do so, but he does have Supernova now with the Icarus dive. Expected to come in soon right here as they're in pursuit. They're going to get one kill on a Tiny, and they're going for more. The trap's being placed down by TA. There's the forward for both the Icarus dive, but no, Chimps is backwards now. He needs to pop Supernova the last second. He's going to die. Familiar doesn't have the mana for it. That makes sense. He will end up going down the Wrath of Nature, actually finishes him off. First Spirit also a kill. Buyback though from Phoenix. I suppose now he has the mana, so he could come back in with that Supernova.
He doesn't have to dive now, though. Well, he'll come in with Sunray.
There you go. He's gonna Supernova off to the side. Pretty good placement, actually. Roshan will eventually go down. HFS picks up the Aegis. He's gonna be hit by the stun, but there is not enough follow-up from TNC. So, man, that Roshan took forever and really not the most casualties in the end, but Chaos does ultimately get it.
Yeah, I think Chaos are overall. The mana for Supernova hurts significantly because whenever TNC were starting to bully Chaos back up to their high ground and their Radiant Ancients, it definitely looked like TNC were ready to take the fight over and, you know, maybe even let Terrorblade and TA finish off the Roche, but Tim's had to come in and Chaos was like, wait, he's not Supernovaing. Oh, he doesn't have 200 mana for it because he's been too busy casting Sunray and his Fire Spirits for this like 90-second long fight, and so they're able to get out, and now Weehaw chasing down Ninja Boogie is just a lone dazzle.
Yeah, that's no man's land right there. Free kill. And you do see Medallion finished on Visage as well after the Roshan fight, so they have that now. They got the mech on Shadow Fiend with the Aegis. They're going to push back Tim's cop, but not so much. He's got the Icarus dive, he'll use it, but that's used defensively. No Supernova threat for 30 more seconds or so. This should be an easy tier 2 tower kill. So we are starting to see the momentum now working for Chaos, but continue to look at TNC though, specifically this Templar Assassin. Can't forget about Armel because he's working on the Desolator. 1800 gold saved up, needs both Mithril Hammers still, but essentially halfway there to finishing it. But they're just gonna go tier 3 because of that.
Yeah, it's the downside of going for the Blink Dagger first, which I would have done the same thing. Going Blink Dagger first in a game like this just seems like it makes sense. Going for Desolator is a little too glass cannon. But the 5-man of Chaos is making this Blink Dagger MTA pretty useless. There's no way she can go into it. In fact, she gets caught out by Tiny.
Yeah, that's a bad spot. She was going in for the flank, but they ended up seeing here. You mentioned Tiny with the opening, gets the free kill. She has buyback, but that's the last thing you want to be doing, not even having the Desolator finish, as we just mentioned. So tier 3 goes down. And they're gonna still push this because why not, right? I mean, Supernova is great, so maybe this is why Magnetize on every hero it feels like as well. Supernova plays, they're gonna kill it. They just don't run away. Weehaw can't get out of there. It doesn't look like it. The false promise at the last second will barely keep him alive. Misery gonna be the sacrificial lamb because of it. So for now, at least, Weehaw staying alive, but nope, never mind. He will took down after the fact. Tavo also gets picked off, and the hold is successful for TNC. It did require a buyback on Templar, but they make it happen, and now they want to push themselves.
They do lose 3 in the end, though, so that is a bit of a cost, but it's not as expensive as losing a Rax this early on, because, again, what we're noticing is your lack of wave clear from TNC, which is allowing us to go for relatively risk-free pushes, but going for Rax is always going to have some risk to it, so feeling a little bit too confident after being able to kill off TA, and a really good initiation by Rior, though I think Chaos were a little too grouped up because, yeah, it was one magnetized cast. It wasn't even like any stones that were chaining onto other heroes. It was just Rior rolling in, hitting R, and then 4 heroes got magnetized. Bunch of bad juju from Ninja Boogie, bunch of DOT from the Supernova, and I think the Reflection also caught like all 5 heroes off of Terrorblade, so a little bit too much clumping up from Chaos cost them a fair amount, but yeah, they still did claim that tier 3 tower.
Get tier 3, but Terrorblade is actually looking pretty good right now. He's got the Manta style almost finished, has the ultimate orb needs to purchase, and of course the BKB queued up after the fact, and that, as usual, it feels like once he gets the BKB, things are going to be a bit different for TNC in terms of their fighting chances. And there is also, we saw a little bit of it earlier on too, the whole Shallow Grave presence is pretty absurd with a Sunder ready Terrorblade. You build that Shallow Grave up and he doesn't care that he's about to die, kind of like that Scar effect, because all of a sudden he gets the Sunder off pretty freely within that 5-second windows is the idea, at least.
That's assuming that you're going to be able to make it to the point really even able to build BKB, because they are just proceeding to eliminate all of these towers one by one. Tavo managed to complete the Crimson Guard on Nature's Prophet. So Mantis-style, though, is just now freshly completed the Terror Blade, is going to lose a lot of efficiency, but Rior wants to fight again.
Yeah, he does. Goes in, HFN, manning up, though. Guardian Greaves are ready, so look at that. One boot for each foot, but they're running away. The Magnetic once again doing so much damage. Misery forced to use a false promise on himself, gets hit by the Supernova, as does Tiny. Misery, I'm pretty sure, is dead, as is Tiny. They are both indeed going to explode, and the chase will continue. Fire Spirit still going out. The trap slow on Shadow Fiend. Is it enough? No, it cannot get close enough, actually. Avoids in the trees, and we in the backline's able to pick off teams, meanwhile, so bit of a distraction. And did they overstep now? Gabby has to be a little bit careful. Sunder is ready, as well as a Shallow Grave online. I hear the Aegis being taken away, by the way. It's not Weehaw. Well, I guess it was on Shadow Fiends. He's the one playing very defensive. They're going to go after TA, though, as he's going uphill a little bit blind. Armel caught by the Sprout, but melded. He'll be fine again. No support necessarily right here. And Chaos continues to retreat. It seems like, at least, but not really, as Tavo, he TP's in. And he's like, no, we want to fight some more, damn it. I don't think he's going to catch Armel. You
retreat as much as what's necessary, and once, you know, I mean, everyone's full mana, full HP, HFN got his Aegis reclaimed, Weehaw is basically in full fighting shape, and the offensive glyph, I don't know why that was used, but whatever the case, they're going to finish off the tier 2, and yeah, this is their plan. Like, it doesn't really matter how many bodies you lose. At the end of the day, you're still taking objectives, and TNC can't do anything about it. And they have to keep this relentless pace up, because if TA manages to get her Desolator finished, or if Terrorblade manages to get BKB finished, then these fights that are already not looking too great start looking way, way worse. Ever these core positions aren't going to get kited anymore.
Part of me really wonders, and you know, I hate to think this, but it's like I am scratching my head because, for one, you know, we never see boots on Hero, especially early on in the game. Maybe late game, but did he was it almost like just clockwork for him? He was like, oh, I'm just going to build my power chest, and then realized after the fact, oh crap, that's right, we're going the Guardian Gear strat, and so I went back to it. I don't know, because it just seems so odd to me still, but I think it's just he still has it.
It's just a flavor thing. Mids are very particular with how they like to itemize, and I'm sure a lot of Shadow teams are like, I'm not building Greaves on this team. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And teams are like, no, it's pretty good. And he was like, all right, I'll build it, but after I get my treads. So I think it's just like it's stylistic choice. It's however you want to flare your hero and whatever feels comfortable for you, because mid heroes and tempo heroes in general are all about like how you interpret your pace of the hero, and forcing yourself into something that you're not comfortable with. Like, if you in a pub start building Greaves and you've never built it before, it will feel very weird, because your power levels and your power spikes are not traditional Shadow Fiend spikes. You're all over the place, and now HFN might also be dying.
I was gonna say Greaves gonna come to play right here. Actually, use the girl-lated perk off the stove. If anything, heal up the bit he was taking damage right there. You already know, Tiny. False Promise is going to be used. Mystery, he's not afraid to use that just on whatever target's necessary. But now, of course, we'll be on cooldown. Tavo, there's that rolling boulder. No chance to TP out. He stopped. He continued to delay things right here. The scarier this Terrorblade continues to become. Now 2,900 gold saved up, so the BKB just around the corner. The Deso's been finished on TA. We're gonna go with Dragonlance, maybe even a full Hurricane Pike after the fact on that. So the item progression is certainly there, and I don't want to call Chaos being on a tight window necessarily, but yeah,
I'll call it. They are definitely on a window right now.
So okay.
Oh yeah, I think the decision for TNC to take a fight out of their base was a great decision, because like Chaos is doing everything like clockwork. This is clearly a strategy they've practiced before, because it is just so systematic. They took a tier 3 tower in mid, and I think that was like a bonus that they weren't ready to take so early on, and as a result they took bot shrine, they took top shrine. They're already posted up for the Roche that is respawning now, and so Misery walks into the pit, immediately finds out. It's all like clockwork, and so I can imagine that they themselves are like, we got like 8 minutes to finish this game, boys, so let's get cracking, immediately go into the pit. But TNC are respecting it, and they're not just sitting back in their base being like, nah, it's fine, we got late game, just wait until late game.
Roche on defense here. By the way, welcome to those watching on the stream. We finally got things going right here. They were having some technical issues on their side, but it looks like we got the connection taken care of, and we should be good to go now. So If you haven't been watching in-game, well, we'll catch you up perhaps after this fight, because we're only 23 minutes in, but right now, big, this would be a second Roshan. Tims, he has a supernova. Oh, can he get it off in time? Just tossed, and he was not ready for that. He has a buyback, though. He'll be coming back right away. So, I mean, they know the supernova's ready, and yeah, they're going to have to be a little careful now.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't panic cast it. You can definitely get the cast animation off between avalanche stuns, but there's no point if every single hero is looking at you. And again, he's only level 12. He just hit level 12, so it's not going to take that many attacks. But they're contesting it, and Armel is a hero that can definitely contest it, assuming he doesn't get bashed.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward. It's not the easiest necessarily still. So Terrorblade even goes in there. Metaforms in 3 seconds. Does have the BKB ready to go as well. Avalanche already used. Warrior, he's going to go in, but the magnetize up. Then Aegis is going to be taken by Armel as well. It's going to the Roshan pull on top. That's a good start for the Dire team right now. As Metamorph sets up with the BKB, they take out Tiny. Toss away, not going to be enough. Phoenix still going forward. Shadowfiend's like, I got to get the hell on out of here. He'll TP away, but Tavo, is it going to be the same? Probably not. The Sprout protecting as much as he can. The Crimson Guard only so much. He will go down, though, and he's dead for 40 seconds. Again, no buyback. So TNC, I think it's safe to say at this point especially, they're now in the lead pretty comfortably, and they're going to make great use of the Sages. At least that's the idea.
Yeah, they are going to give Chaos a taste of their own medicine. They have all the resources necessary to start mowing down towers of their own, and they've got a fair amount of time left on Metamorphosis. They can definitely get some tier 3 tower damage. Rior trying to initiate, but maybe a little bit too far.
Well, let's just call it fate, I suppose. No Shallow Grave to save. In fact, Dazzle, that's because he got tossed and stunned. He'll Shallow Grave himself at the last second, and he's going to try to TP out in front of them, and it actually works out for the Dazzle. Armel, though, unfortunately, they can't save him, and that's kind of important because he had the Aegis, so not only is that going to be burned, but can he maybe blink out in time? That ain't easy with the Avalanche right there, so he does not, and he is dead. Well, Chaos, they say, sure, we'll take a taste of our own medicine and spit it right back in your face.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of going for a tier 3 push. I did not like the idea of going for a tier 3 fight, and I think Rior may have overestimated how ready his team was to go in for a full-on engagement. Like, because they're also, like, fairly high level. After that fight, the levels kind of balanced out, but the respawn times on Chaos were fairly low, and all of that combat was happening at the Roche Pit, and so by the time they finally approached tier 3, most of Chaos was already respawning.
They're going for the racks. They're going to force what would be another buyback in this game on TA. At least that's the idea. She's still, I think it's worth seconds.
I think she should do it. I don't think they should let this racks go.
Well, maybe now because they're initiating the Supernova run in the Misfit. No, never mind. Not going to be casted off. In fact, down goes Phoenix. He could not get it off. He has no buyback, remember. He's out for 70, and they are not buying back on TA either. In fact, BKB from Terrorblade committed. He doesn't have Metamorphosis, though, so maybe that's the ultimate reason. But then why even try to take the fight at that point? Oh, King Ardia, it looked like he was going for a toss attempt. Not going to happen, however. But they get the racks, and they're going to the top lane now. So it seems like the decision-making, they're not all on the same page for TNC. And this is going to snowball quickly. This is what this lineup has potential to do here on the Radiant.
Do you mean to tell me that their stand-in may not be communicating as well?
It's possible. Well, he's going to go in right here and put the magnetize up, but he's out for 70 now. They do kill Shadowfiend at least. Finler is stunning. Trying to go for retreat mode now from Chaos. Again, they got the melee racks top even, so Misery is like, all right, fine, kill me. We got what we want, and we're going to get the hell on out of here now. Yeah, so back to that stand-in issue. Maybe it is showing a bit here in game 1.
It does seem like that. Rior seems the most trigger-happy out of everyone else, and I guess I'm okay with the decision of TA not to buy back, because if she buys back and she dies, then that's game losing instantly. Whereas right now, TNC are still in this game. They're 1.5 racks down, but they have much better late game, so it's not like it's not a terrible situation, and the Nature's Prophet is not built to abuse a racks and a half down. Tavo is not equipped to be like, aha, I can do unlimited pressure on your base now.
Yeah.
He is a team-oriented Nature's Prophet, although he's trying to snipe the courier, and he may get it, and he does.
Nice. Nothing like your courier dying at your fountain. It's just like the worst feeling ever.
Although I guess that kind of does give up their awards galore in his base, inside the Dire base, but that's worth it if you're able to get that kill off.
Yeah. Oh, easy kill for them. And that now we're swinging back in their favor. In fact, taking a look at the graph, and yeah, I was going to say, it seems like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's swinging. It's been in favor of TNC for most of it. But again, Chaos just continues to win a fight when they need to and then push back. So will this be another kind of a reset here, or will they actually be able to kind of try to close it out and eventually get the Mega Creeps, of course. That's the bottom racks. I suppose the range rack's top is still there, but that's something else to keep in mind too with this Nature's Prophet is the constant split pushing of him. Now, he didn't go this aggressive split push build, so perhaps not as crazy as some usual NP games, but it's still at least a threat that they got to worry about.
It is, but I think they're equipped for it. As you can see, Tia has littered the bot lane with traps, and so she knows that this is the only lane that is a concern in terms of the last remaining objective for Chaos. That's the only thing that they have left to do. Although Chaos may throw a curveball as they are smoking up and may attempt to do like a mid into tier 4's play if they can find a pick. But they have to go a long ways to the enemy side of the map, as right now TNC are playing very, very safe.
Yeah, this is the ultimate safe. You have Terrorblade pushing on top, but I mean, he's going to TP away now. He's got 4,000 gold saved up, by the way, so where's that? I have Scotty. But he has a mind bow. They don't have to go too far now. Misery is like guys that found them. They're all here, and they're just gonna run. So that's one way to do it if you're Chaos. That they get information, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's still a profitable smoke for TNC. Anything that continues to buy time is worthwhile, even though it's just a support kill. It's anything that's keeping the bot tier 3 alive and all of your heroes alive. So this is definitely it's not an easy game for Chaos to finish it off. And I am definitely looking to Terrorblade to be, as with his what? Oh, he's already used his BKB twice. Okay, so he's been getting into a fair share of fights. But yeah, he's got 4.6k gold now completed on the hero. He is going to start progressing far faster than this Greaves Shadow Fiend or this Crimson Guard Nature's Prophet could ever hope to keep up with.
Now AC just finished on Visage, so talk about another great item for the team. Take advantage of course, and Visage alone. So again, back to the idea of split push even come into play. So another good item for him. Shadow Fiend, he had the axe queued up, and which he still does, but then he ended up buying a Yasha first. I don't know if he plans to finish like a Yasha Kaya, perhaps, or an SNY for that matter. I could see either one, I suppose, or even maybe he goes the Manta. I don't know. His item build is again continue to be a bit funky, starting with the double boots. We've already seen.
I don't like the idea of Agam's Scepter though. Okay, he changes it to a Sange. Yeah, I don't honestly like the idea of that much either. I think it's awkward though, because like no aura items are really useful, and right now literally all of Chaos is building aura items on all their heroes. I don't think a Shiva's would go very far. I think it would be okay for him to build like a butterfly or something like that. Anything that helps him. I guess Sange does help him tank up. It's just like it's a mid-game tanking item, and so I'm not really a big fan of that.
Well, it's interesting because he's almost to his level 20 talent, right? And that's going to be very telling where he decides to ultimately go this game. Like, because if he goes at 2 damage per soul, then it's okay, you know, then he really should be building some more right-click assistance. But if he goes the Shadow Rays damage, then he is going to be, safely saying, pretty committed to this. We're going to be all about magic, and maybe the Yags would make more sense if he goes back to that, but still, that's we'll see when he gets there, I suppose. But again, yeah, the SNY is finished now.
I mean, the Ags would even make sense with the with the damage per soul talent, because you also get more souls with the Agam Scepter. So, yeah, I don't know. This is a very awkward spot for any Shadow Fiend, because there isn't really no right answer. It just feels like which is the least wrong answer. But,
yeah, Terrorblade's like, all right, let's go. Just pops Reflection in the face. And he's just going to the whole I'm going to run at the strategy. HFN trying his best to get away. Already popped the guarding experience. He's being locked down. They're going to go for the Rocket spots to BKB. He does get a Requiem off. That's damage mitigation, remember, as well as damage. Misery went down, by the way. He could get off False Promise. And they lose the Shadow Fiend for 70 seconds. He's staying dead as well. 2 are staying dead in total. TNC, they want more. They're going to go for King RD. They're going to get King RD. That is 3 dead.
With no buyback.
Yeah. That initiation was so lazy.
It was so casual. It was like, alright, I guess I'll Reflection. I guess I'll Metamorphosis. I think they should just go tier 4s. Maybe they don't know that they don't have buybacks.
Well, you see top lane, Nature's Prophet is going to be a distraction, but Phoenix says, okay, I'll come up here and throw out some Fiery Spirits, but as you mentioned, yeah, they don't have that information 100%, so they're going to go play it safe.
Yeah, because the only reason I don't like this is because they can't get top racks, because they're still a top tier 2 tower. But, yeah, they're going to get racks and a half. Probably?
Crimson. Yeah, trying.
Yeah, racks and a half. and Gabby's Metamorphosis times out, so back off, and now you have basically equalized the pressure. Both teams have a racks and a half down now, and it's just one tier 2 tower benefit in terms of structural advantage right now for Chaos, but in terms of any other benefits, nothing is really going for them right now. They are not winning in terms of net worth. They are not winning in terms of experience. Really, all they have is maybe team spirit in terms of how many auras they're going to be grouping up with.
They got the spirit working. Yeah, they got the hoorah going on their side. Well, that can only go so far. I mean, win percentage right now, 18% for them. Definitely makes sense. But I mean, there's still a chance with that said. In fact, Gabby. Okay, they don't actually see him. He is Ibis. That's the Sentry Ward on the dire side. They go for Rayer, but now Gabby's going to open. Shallow Grave versus Spirit. Gonna see him for now. There's the reflection. Here comes Icarus done. No follow-up with Supernova just as he has it ready to go, though. Buyback from her sprint immediately. Supernova, pretty bad placement because they're just gonna right-click it down, actually. And now Phoenix is dead, so he has a buyback, but of course no threat of the Supernova. Shadow Grip the last second, and there's that swap we're talking about with the Sunder for Gabby. So he's back to full life. We have a very spread fight here. Pouring in from Nature's Prophet, trying to save. Nice job with spinning with the Centaur from Weehaw as well. That Maiko continuing to come into play. The Force half away on top of that. Is it gonna be enough to save them with that half-life? Buyback from Dazzle, even these familiar stuns are all over the place, locking them down forever, but it still simply put is not enough. And Weehaw does go down. They cut through that skin of his. And now Oracle, all I can do is just try to run away fast, but can only go so fast.
My God.
That damage. Dear God. And Roshan's up. He's going to see the spawn right here as they check it.
And Gabby checks it. And I don't know if they won't even have to spend Metamorphosis to that. I'm still not a fan of that fight. I don't think TNC should have taken it, because Gabby did not have Metamorphosis. That was very, very possibly a game-losing fight if it didn't be as spread as it ended up being. Because only now Gabby has Metamorphosis, but they end up going for it. It only costs a Dazzle buyback, so whatever. This is just the advantage of being 11k net worth ahead. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that. That was like a classic TNC moment where every single Filipino is watching, they're like, oh god, this is how it all ends.
No, not like this, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the Matrix gif, yeah. Gabby, though, is that butterfly, yeah, around the corner. Refresher shard in the backpack currently, so not only with that one, but 2 Metamorphosis ready to go. In fact, we'll just go over and right-click on that butterfly. So they really do not have an answer now. This is a team that did not build to scale. They built for an earlier game victory. We're now 35 minutes down. They're down 8k. Obviously, again, still not 100% out of it, but they're going to need the overextension. They're going to need the misplays out of TNC, which, yes, is not impossible, but that's what they're going to be relying on. And we'll see if they get that up here at the top lane. As here's that push now with Terrorblade. King RD. All right, got to go now. Avalanche, toss in. Not much follow-up, though, just simply trying to stall. The tier 3's already dead. Icarus dive forward. Supernova is ready, but choosing not to use it there. Topo's trying to flank someone, but there's the racks, and there they go. Just like that, they fall to pieces in the backline. Supernova's going to be committed because Topo trying to flank them, but now he's time to run away with Wee and everyone else. Swap play from Gab on the Sunder, and we just cannot get away. The stickiness of that Eye of Scotty. Triple buyback. They're doing what they can. They know this is the beginning of the end. It looks like TNC potentially going to be taking game number 1 here unless some insane last stand from Chaos.
Nature's Prophet, go make a quick base race play. Oh wait, your items can't do it. These auras are looking real pretty though. They're not taking that much damage when they're all grouped up like this, but I think you'd rather be dealing damage, not mitigating damage if you're Chaos right now.
Yeah, it's not much they can do. Again, their damage alpha just not nearly enough of a threat. Gabby, another Sunder. I almost thought he had a 25 talent, but no, it's just the natural Sunder cooldown. Fast enough, though. We have false promise. We'll save him for now, and probably should stay alive in the end. In fact, Shallow Grave also saving the Earth Grid on the other side, and meanwhile, the Illusion's still dwindling down that tier 4 tower. So I suppose it's not going to be 100% over just yet. Enough of a hold from Chaos to actually prevent them from truly finishing what is game number 1 here, this best of 3. But they're going to have to do some kind of all-in push at this point now, up against Mega Creeps and only 1 tier 4 tower.
Yeah, I mean they can hope for a mistake. Like the condition is still the same. You just need to pray that TNC slip up, which is definitely a possibility with this team. But they have to slip up 22,000 net worth of bad luck, pretty much. But they are death pushing. It's up against Mega Creeps, and they're proceeding.
Like I said, gotta go all in at this point. Shadow Fiend Man, he's had the same items for a while now, too. They've been not able to progress. Okay, well, they killed TA, so she has a buyback at least.
And they get a scythe on Tim's.
Tim's, Supernova, and it's going to commit to it. Will they be able to kill it off? They're having trouble with it for the time being. Requiem does go off, though, too, and Supernova does not go off in time. They do kill Phoenix. Out for 100 seconds. TA bought back, though. Now RML back into the fight. False Promise and Misery. I don't think he's living through that. Just too many right clicks. Ninja Boogie. Shallow Grave will save him, though. Buyback from Oracle, but he's going to be so far away, and that will be it. GG is called. So, Chaos, they created it there in that fight and gave themselves what seemed like a top, but quickly closed by TNC, and they do secure game one. And what a swinging game, man. That's what I kind of expected in this series, though. Really, just you never know who